we've been working with polynomials for a while now. We've done addition, we've done subtraction, we've also dealt with multiplication. So today what we're going to focus on is dividing polynomials. Now, this is what you need to remember. If you will remember this and commit this to memory, it will be a breeze today. So notice, all you care about is the first term on the outside and the first term on the inside. Now, there's going to be a whole lot more things written down, and that's why I said down here, the rest will just take care of itself. So again, all you care about is the first term on the outside and the first term on the inside. This is talking about binomials. Some of you may be saying, what about division by one term, which is a monomial? Well, we've done that before. Remember when we were factoring, and at the very beginning you always look for a greatest common factor? Well, that greatest common factor is a monomial. And so you've been dividing by a monomial already. We may have not just said it in those terms, but you have. What you have not seen is division by a binomial. So let's write these steps down when dividing by a binomial. Step 1, make sure everything is in standard form, first and foremost. And I'll show you what happens if it's not. I'll fix it. Which goes to here. Step 2, fill in the spots if needed, and that will fix it for standard form. Step 3, find the missing term. Step 4, multiply. Step 5, draw your line, change your signs, then combine. So you got a little rap going on that will help you out with dividing these polynomials. And last, bring down the next term and then repeat steps 3 through 6. Now, if you need to pause the video to make sure you have all that written down, go right ahead, and I'll be here ready when you are to go on. All right, so let's take a trip back in time. Maybe elementary school. I'm thinking elementary school. I don't know which one necessarily, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. Long division. 6 divided into 20,693. Take a second and see if you remember how to do this long division. Pause it, and once you get an answer, press play and we'll see how you did. All right, let's compare and see what you've got. Okay, so when dividing and doing long division, we're going to take this number on the outside, 6, and we're going to look to the first number inside. Does 6 go into 2? Sure does not. So you grab the next number over. Now we're looking at 6 into 20. And will 6 go into 20? You got it. Not perfectly, but it will go in there. 6 will go into 20 at least 3 times. Now from there, once you found this, then you multiplied 6 and 3. So here we go. 6 times 3 is 18. And then from there, I'm going to erase this line underneath. And then from there, you would draw your line and change the sign. Now, back in the day, this was just subtraction. There was no changing signs because in elementary school, they didn't talk about positives and negatives. But essentially, this is what you did. You changed that positive number into a negative number. All right, and then you combine the two. 20 minus 18, which is 2. Next, you would bring down the next number over. So we're bringing down the 6. Now we're looking at 6 into 26. Does 6 go into 26? Not evenly, but it will go in there at least 4 times. So you found the missing term. Take that and multiply. 4 times 6 is 24. 26 minus 24 is 2. We keep going, long division. Bring down the 9. Does 6 go into 29? It does. 4 times only. 4 times 6 is 24. We're going to combine these again. 29 minus 24 is 5. Bring down the last number that we have, which is a 3. And will 6 go into 53? It'll go in there at least 8 times. No more than that because 9 times 6 is 54. So 8 times 6 is 48. And draw your line, change your sign, and combine these. 53 minus 48, we have 5 left over. Now, let's think about this. There were 2 ways that you used to worry about a remainder. One way was to put the remainder over what you were dividing by. And then sometimes you did this as an answer. Do you remember the little r? And you would have a remainder of 5. This is what we're going to focus on here. Notice that our sign is positive, so we're going to keep our signs with us today when we're looking at dividing by binomials. So if you got the same answer that I did just then, you are looking pretty good. You're going to be smooth sailing today. If you did not, that's okay. We're going to practice a couple of problems. And this back in elementary school that you talked about or learned back then, it will definitely come back to memory. So let's begin. We got our first problem. We have 5x squared plus 2x minus 3, and it's going to be divided by x plus 2. Now we're going to keep it old school. We're going to take this binomial, we're going to put it on the outside and draw our little house, and we're going to put this underneath. So we have x plus 2 is going to go into 5x squared plus 2x minus 3. Now, I've got you a couple of notes up here. Keep terms lined up correctly, and it's going to help you stay organized. And remember what you only care about. Do you remember? Here we go. We only care about the first term on the outside, which is an x, and the first term on the inside, which is a 5x squared. This is what we care about. Now, we've got other things here, but just looking at the terms that are highlighted. Here we go. Let's go with our steps. First and foremost, make sure everything is in standard form. It is 2, 1, and exponent of 0, so everything's here. So we do not need to do step 2, which is fill in if needed, because we're perfect. All right, let's find the missing term. Again, all you care about is the term on the outside, the first one on the outside, and the first one on the inside. So let's find that term. X times what will give you 5x squared? So essentially we're going x times what will give you 5x squared? And it is 5x. Very good. So now after we find the missing term, step 4 is to multiply. We'll take this term, 5x times x is 5x squared. Now remember, we're dividing by a binomial, so do not leave this out. 5x times positive 2 is a positive 10x. All right, now let's do the next step, which is to draw your line and change your signs of both. So this was positive, we're now going to make it negative. This was positive, we're now going to make it negative. And then combine. 5x squared and a negative 5x squared makes 0. And this is what we want. 2x plus a negative 10x is negative 8x. Step 6, bring down this number. So we have negative 8x minus 3. Now here we go. What do we care about? We only care about the first term on the outside, and now the first term on the inside, which is a negative 8x. So let's repeat. Find the missing term. X times what will give you negative 8x? X times what will give you negative 8x? You're right, negative 8. Next step, after we find the missing term, let's multiply. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. All right, here we go. Draw our line, change our signs. This was negative, it now becomes positive. This was negative, now it becomes positive. So draw your line, change your signs, and then combine. Here we go. Negative 8x plus 8x. Bye-bye. Negative 3 plus 16 is 13. Do we have anything else to bring down? No, we do not. So we're working with 13 as our remainder. So this is what's going to happen. Let me move this over here. we're going to write our remainder like this. 13 over what we were dividing by, which was an x plus 2. Our sign of our remainder is positive, so we will be adding that on. This is what your answer looks like. For example number 1, 5x minus 8 plus 13 over x plus 2. All right, let's go again. So we have x to the 4th plus x squared plus x minus 3, all divided by x minus 1. We're dividing by binomial. Let's set this up here. So I have x minus 1 is going into, that's in standard form. Let's check this one. Is it in standard form? And some of you would say yes, it is in standard form because it's going from highest to lowest. This is what we have to see though. We have to see every single exponent. We want to see every exponent. In this case, we're not. We are not seeing the x to the 3rd power. So this is where step 2 comes in, where it says fill in if needed. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We have x to the 4th. There was no x to the 3rds. So we're going to add no x to the 3rds because 0 stands for nothing. And then we'll continue on. There was 1x squared. There was 1x. And there is a negative 3. So now we are truly in standard form. We are seeing every exponent. So this is taking care of step 1 and step 2. Make sure it's in standard form and fill in if needed. All right, let's go from here. All we care about is the first term on the outside and the first term on the inside. The first term on the outside is x, and the first one on the inside is x to the 4th. So here we go. X times what will give you x to the 4th? X to the 3rd. Now let me show you this. On the problem before, I was talking about keep things in order. Do you see how if we had not had an x to the 3rd, this would not match up at all? And that's what I was referring to, is keeping things in order. The exponents should line up. All right, so let's keep going. We found the missing term. Now let's multiply. X to the 3rd times x is x to the 4th. X to the 3rd times negative 1 is negative 1x to the 3rd. Next, draw your line, change your signs, and then combine. That was positive. Now we're going to make it negative. This was negative. Now we're going to make it positive. Here we go. X to the 4th and a negative x to the 4th makes 0. 0x to the 3rd plus 1x to the 3rd is 1x to the 3rd. Bring this down. We got a plus x squared. All I care about is the first term on the outside and the first term on the inside. So x times what will give you x to the 3rd? 1x squared. Let's multiply. X squared times x is x to the 3rd. X squared times negative 1 is negative 1x squared. Here we go. Draw your line, change your signs, then combine. X cubed and a negative x cubed cancel. 1x squared plus 1x squared is 2x squared. Bring it on down. All I care about is the first term on the outside and the first term on the inside. X times what will give you 2x squared? You got it. 2x. Here we go. Let's multiply. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. Draw your line, change your signs, then combine. These two cancel. 1x plus 2x is 3x. Last time to bring this on down. Here we go. All I care about is the first term on the outside and the first term on the inside. X times what will give you positive 3x? Positive 3. Let's multiply. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Draw your line, change your signs, then combine. 3x and negative 3x go away. Negative 3 and positive 3, they diminish too, and we have no remainder. So this is our answer. X cubed plus x squared plus 2x plus 3. See you in class.